Dang, did this just break it? Is it working? Is it not working? There we go. Okay, yes, it is working now. I was able to validate that it's good to go based on kind of hearing that, but why does it sound kind of shitty? Oops. This seems really bad. You don't want to be doing. I don't want to be doing this like live, you know. I want to have it dialed down. All right, we're gonna do a test. I'm gonna just listen to myself talk for just a moment. It might feedback loops you for a minute. If so, I'm really sorry. You know, yada yada yada, life, blah blah blah. Yada yada, life, blah blah. All right, so testing. How does it sound? All right, so testing. How does it sound? This is pretty good, actually. All right, so yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Excuse me. Let's see. So one. What if I try this? I'm gonna switch it to what it was last time. There we go. Now, is it better or worse? Is it better or worse? I'm not really sure. Okay, yeah, let's try exit. I'm not really sure. Okay, yeah, let's try exit. I'm not really sure. Okay, yeah, let's try exit. All right, so I muted it for a moment. I'm gonna unmute it right now again and see how we're in. All right, so I muted it for a moment. I'm gonna unmute it right now again and see how we're in. All right, so I muted it. Got that started to do the whole little high pitch whine. All right, cool. This is good. Yeah, I did not realize that I was causing myself problems. See, the thing is, I'll go ahead and move it. Probably don't want to, but hey, I'm gonna. All right. So you see, this is kind of the current power adapter I'm using, right? There we go. And see, it's just kind of the one little adapter. This was pointed to my phone's cable right now before, right? That's what it was. And yeah, the issue with that was, essentially that I keep cutting off the power on the. Okay, there we go. It's probably helpful to back up just a hair. Yeah. So yeah, the problem was I was like causing the Raspberry Pi to shut down. Oh, what am I? I'm just use this way. There we go. And that's like no bueno. So I mean, shoot. Well, now it's good. It's ideal, but pretty much I'm gonna reset this back to where we were, so we kind of have everything going and get started. Where's white balance? Here's white balance, right? There we go. Probably doing this the wrong way. I should be using this. Is there a white balance on here? Visual index. See this little remote. Okay. And it's funny because this is also here, but this is this is basically like a remote connection to the Pi, and so that's what's happening. I think I'm going to disconnect to it just so it kind of can be even more performant. So yeah, I have a few things to work on here right now. Tonight, this right here is a client, requested thing to put together for him really quick before I do a longer build. I'll let him know they're done now, actually. That'd be a good idea, even though it's kind of late. Forgive me, it's the edible. That's probably why I'm a little bit slower than normal. But yeah, I'm in a really good mood. I'm in a really good mood. Okay. Yeah. Let me sit here. So yeah, there we go. We're at the high level. Alright, I watch those. Review. Those. Nice. Which you complete other pieces. First. Those will take about there we go. All right. Yeah, because I'm gonna kick him off now anyway. But if he wants to now, great. I will just meet him and drop these off. If not, great. I will give them to him later. All right. So this was really nice because actually it's kind of like ironic, really, because part of this whole broadcast is that we are going to be repairing this Sovol SV06 extruder right here. I stop and think, where is the flashlight? That would be even better. Here's the flashlight, it's right here. And then I have it going right there. Right? There we go. So yeah, we have a Sovol SV06 extruder. Now, what I saw, like, it was working fine, and then eventually, like, it would go and go and go, and it doesn't actually spin further. And so I looked in here initially, right? I don't know. I got it here. Let's try it this way. So this is a process when it's just you. There we go. So I looked in here and found that maybe it's gunked up, right? And so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe it's gunked. So that's kind of where we're going to be going. Excuse me. Yeah, like in there, kind of back and behind. But yeah, so the plan here with this is to take it apart, like it's in these two pieces right here. Oh yeah, see, okay, cool. Pretty sure. Hey, how are you? Excellent. Yeah, like how about yeah, that sounds good. I'll bring him over. I think it'd be easier to bring him over. About 15 minutes or less. So I'll be there in the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, awesome. Okay, bye. Cool. Well, yeah, see, so that's pretty much excellent timing. So yeah, I have to get these done now, and then I can get these to him. I'm just gonna drop them off to him so that I don't have to stop the stream or nothing. I think that would be ideal. This is what we were facing. You don't have to mind the kitty. Kitty's having its own little blasting world, and that's fun. It's fun with me. And so this is super simple. I mean, I just gotta. This is actually the build plate. Yeah, this SV06 is totally like a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because when it works well, I mean, I can just sort of get the stuff done, but it's kind of a curse because like it's easy to mess up the build plate and build area. This is like, it's all scarred up and jacked up, and so it's not perfect anymore. If I really wanted, I could go and rebuy another one of these sheets for like $40 and eventually break it again. Yeah, these are just little mixing paddles that are part of like a bigger, apparatus that my client needs. And so the trick here is I'm just going to actually do a little bit of cleanup. As you can notice here, or cannot notice, there is a bit of stringing, and so there we go. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of stringing going on here. I'm so sorry. I also noticed I have the TV's in the background, but the camera's too close, so I really can't talk to you and like engage as well as I'd like to. But I will get it figured out. I will soon. All right, so this is just super simple. Like this is one of my favorite little things to do. You just I like just turn this on for a bit, let it warm up, and you see I kind of have like a little smaller cone there. And I just kind of quickly run it across, run it across, run it across, run it across, and just like so. And we're basically done. Like that's it. Actually went kind of a bit long. That was a bit longer than I normally do. But this is kind of the whole entire build plate. And what we're going to do now is kind of slowly pick off some of these parts that didn't kind of come off as smooth as they could have. If this is a situation where I need it to be absolutely perfect, I would consider using a file, perhaps. So that's it. I mean, we are done here. We'll simply take these off here. And then I did have a little bit of buildup on the bottom just to really make sure they were solid. And there's that. I am going to go ahead and file it. I would like to file it because it's like maybe a couple minutes of work, but it's worth it. Really kind of adds a nice touch. Really adds a nice touch. Okay. So yeah, and see something else you can see here too. So this was definitely not a perfect print. Let's see, is there a way I can really have it render well? Not really. There we go. Let's try it from back here. You have to excuse that. That is my cat. Okay, that's going to be the best I can do. So yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. This is because I sanded it down a bit smooth, but there's this little bit of bubbling kind of on the bottom. You see that? It's like not a smooth edge. And so to me, that's a sign. And this was the bottom layer, right? So yeah, this is definitely squishing too close to the build plate. I did notice that early on in the print, but I mean, it was a good surface, and it's one of those things where you want to do it, but you don't want to like overdo it, Like this is just barely overdoing it. And so I personally am going to adjust it upward on the, what is it called? The Z offset. I think right now is 1.22. I think it probably should be maybe 1.24, 1.26 even. And see what that gives me. Because it's like a trade-off, like this is a really good solid base and I liked it. Like this works well. But at the same time, All right, well, I'm not trying to overdo it. I said I was going to be there in 10 minutes, so. I mean, since it's a mixing paddle, I'd kind of like to be a little smooth. I know I can't really make it perfect, but if he wants me to redo them, I'll redo them. That's cool. I'll figure out something that turns into a kitty toy or something. Yeah, I still got to do this assembler work. I ran into problems on the setup I had, and so I need to change the setup around. And now I'm using it on like an old computer. We're gonna try that out, and it should be okay. But you know, it's just gotta take the time to do it. Also have interviews for the next couple of days I have to prepare for tomorrow and yeah Wednesday. So that's gonna be fun. Just doing some like cryptocurrency work. Yeah, I gave in, but sometimes you gotta pay the bills, right? So that's what's happening here. Although, I mean, feel free to like and subscribe and share this with 5 million of your closest, dearest, nearest friends. World, if you can get that going, get me at 5 million people. I'll do it. Shoot, I will dedicate more. I will turn this to an actual solid, legitimized career path. Yeah. Here. I should be backing this up a bit, shouldn't I? There we go. All right. I'll hire a producer, an editor, get a guy getting going. Why not? To upgrade the quality. There's good. They want to do it so much that you like mess up the longevity of the material. That's the thing, though. Yeah, see, that's weird. I don't know what this was, but it's like a weird error that happened in the print. But it's fine. I'll ask him. I'll say, "Is this all right? Like, please let me know if you'd like me to redo this or try again, please. Like, I'm happy to do that." All right, cool. And like you said, you need him right now, so this is perfect time. All right, I'm feeling. Oh, here I'm doing this last little like hand pass because sometimes it's just easier to just use your fingers to try to like rip off a bit of excess, and that was part of what the whole first step was with the anti-stringing with the heat gun. All right, cool. All right, I am satisfied. I am gonna head back out. I will be back in just a moment, y'all. All right, Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, very good. Everything's good to go. Oh, things are not too bad. I had something still to do. All right, so yeah, that's fine. So next is to, and now I think I realize why I wanted the bigger tripod, like originally. So yeah, you're on like a tiny little shoe tripod, but there's a much bigger one here. If you're just tuning in now, I had to leave for a moment to drop off some parts, but it's already been done. So I'm back. Maybe there's another way. Maybe I should be looking at the YouTube Studio app. Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay, I did not see his reply. Okay. Don't really care. What do I care about? Everything. Well, not everything, but things. Oh yeah, that's right. Good job. Oh, there he is. Hey, okay. There's my guy. See, there you go. Yeah, you got me. Like, I'm looking for an easier way to view the comments because right now it's really tough. Like, I'm only getting the, you know, no, not right now. Like, not right now. I've got some stuff I got to work on, like here in the garage. I'm gonna try to fix these controllers. I'm gonna try to fix this broken extruder right here. I've got to refill the water. I've got to throw away some trash. I've got to set up a print run. Like, yeah, I did. I maybe later. I mean, later perhaps. Uh, this is now working. I'm suddenly looking at it. It's like the whole observer principle. But I wanted to have a chat window here that will actually show everything. So I'm like seeing what I'm missing. How do I get to this? I got a YouTube Studio. I know it's somewhere. Here it is. Excuse me. Is it in this notifications? No. Is it community? Comments 13. Return viewers. No, see, this is all the old stuff. Content. So I just got to go to live, and then maybe I can look at the live. No, but see, this is the wrong one. It's not the current one. Okay. That didn't work. Perhaps I need to just go to the controllers. If they're not charging, there could be dust. Oh, that's possibly a point. Okay, that's a good observation. I will consider that. However, I don't think it's that because I've tried different ways. Like, so I use the plane charge kind of thing, or not the plane charge. I use the first party charging dock. So I just it clicks in and charges them that way. For a long time, I didn't use that. Like for the first year, I didn't. I just plugged it from the top. I found that broke the USB-C, and so just between those are two different ways I can test and troubleshoot to make sure everything's working. And I have basically two failure state controllers here. Let's see. Let me just quickly get to the. Here we go. Let's see if you can hear me now talking. Okay, cool. Now I can see the chat. Oh, cool, awesome. It was just you. This is great. This is fantastic. I wonder. Yes. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have you guys here, and you here, and all y'all eagle eyes out there can look at your comments. That's not gonna work, but okay. Maybe give him even more focal. There you go. Is that working, or is it like backwards, or am I backwards, or? Oh, okay. Yeah. No, we've gone way past that. So it's not even just that. Like, here, let me see if I can show you. Actually, geez. Okay, we'll put this back. It'd be cool if I had like a OBS running and figured out a good, reliable way to kind of camera one, camera two. All right, so here, let me quickly just right there. Okay, so right. So this is the. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kitty. I did not mean to step on you. You like yeah, I stepped on my cat. I stepped on my cat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, let's look at my butt. Oops. Okay. So yeah, I gotta take out this trash. We're gonna do that. Yeah, maybe I could do the whole cat food thing now. Nah, I'll do that after everything else is done. Cool. All right. You hungry? You want some more food? Yeah, I see. Okay. Fair enough. I'll give you that. Yeah. It's not remixed. I'm sorry. I know that's what I do, but these days it's just really good. There you go. I missed you yesterday. Here you go. How you got the confidence knowing that you're not going to go hungry today. Yeah, so I think what happened is the established relationship is that my cat. Okay, I'm just like you're not looking at me in the face, so let me go ahead and turn this off, and there you go. Lift this up in here. There we go. There. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, go for it, man. Thank you for dropping by. Shoot, like I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me. Like this is amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, the way my cat works, right, and the whole little cycle is that, she will she'll like eat in the daytime, and hang out and sleep in here, and then she'll leave at night. But it kind of sucks. I kind of wanted the reverse to happen because it's cold at night and it's like gonna be winter, and so I feel like I'm in North America, right? It's gonna be winter, and so like yeah, like I don't want her to freeze to death or anything like that. But she likes to be all nocturnal and out. And hey, sometimes I'm nocturnal and out. I like to go Taco Bell late night because it's easier to just spend the $6.50 or $7 on a nice bountiful meal that'll get you full for sure. And instead of going through the efforts of making your own food. But if it's like late and or if it's just and yeah, I'll make some ramen with some veggies. Right. So cat is fed. I kind of missed out. Things happen. So yeah, I don't mind if she leaves. Now this right. We have another print job that we got to do. It's going to be running close here on the filament, so it may not actually work all the way through. I'm pretty sure I've got some spare black somewhere. I'm certain I've got some spare black somewhere. Like, yeah, I see some right there. Cool. So that should be just enough to kind of cover the difference. And there's like a whole little filament run-on sensor here, so it should be just fine. Okay. This one's more matte than the other, so I don't want that to appear. I think this is the same brand, so yeah, we're gonna just a little bit here and a lot more there. So the dealio is we want to run this. Like I said, this is gonna take about 900 kilograms of filament. Is it? No, that's what I printed before. This is what I need to print now. We're ready to go. Oh, but like we said, we're having the deal with just too much squish. It sucks though too, right? Because the problem is other parts looked all right, but the back part looked kind of crappy. But I kept finding that me trying to do the layer mesh build profile on this like over and over is not consistent because I have this Ultim sheeting on there, right? Like it's just not consistent. And then there's like these divots in here. It's like the resolution of the build mesh is not like it's worse than the divots on here. Like, there's no real good way to like fix it, and so we should do a. I was like, I don't know, like, so they call it gradient descent, right, in machine learning, and I'm thinking the trick would be to like my brain, the way that my brain does that without thinking about it is I will just, pick the middle of the, like, I'll pick the difference at the middle of the range, right? And so we're at 1.22, and I initially was like, oh, okay, so like 1.26, right? And so do I do 1.24? Do I do 1.25? And see, that's where I'm at right now. I'm thinking 1.25 is too much, so I'm gonna do 1.24, just because, like I showed you, to you maybe 30 minutes ago, perfect's the enemy of good. So that's kind of where we're at. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We go here to settings. Oh, 7. Whoops. Come on. 6, 5. Okay, fine. 5. Just do that. Dribbling. Nozzle temp 215. Yeah, no, that's right. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's like a whole little like 1-day run sort of thing. Excuse me. I'm needing to do the water reservoir, like I said. So we're gonna go ahead and get that going next. So this should be simple enough. That's here. I wonder if I can. There we go. Oh, that's right. It's up there on the ceiling. Yeah. See, this is why I was just like, yeah, like the bigger tripod would be better in this case. Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything risky with the camera. That's just stupid. Oh, and don't you worry. Like I also bought. I know, right? Let me go ahead and take this out of here. So you guys are going to be right here, so I can still kind of see you. We are going to put these in the focal point. We're going to talk about them later, but just know that for the dead battery, like I've actually got replacement upgraded batteries here, and so I tested it before. I didn't actually do an updated review, but I think they're good. I think one of these has the replacement battery in it, and it's not working. So I'm presuming that the wire got disconnected or it's loose, or maybe it's a bad battery. But it's one of those things because I put another battery replacement to a different PS5 controller with a known good replacement, and it came out well. Like it actually worked really well. As a bonus, I 3D printed these a little while ago, and we're going to try these out and see if these actually work well, or not. So that'll be something. So these are kind of the 3 repairs that I mainly wanted to work on today. These little chocolates were a little bonus I was looking forward to reviewing. I have to water the plants, but I'm actually out of plant water, so we're going to go through that schedule as I reload the water. And that was pretty much what I plan to do today on Frankenmint Live. So yeah, like I was gifted this Fina agriculture, setup, which is basically at this point going on what seems like a 2-year supply of nutrients. It might be a 1-year now, but I think it's a 2-year supply of nutrients. I'm definitely going to hit up my boy to see if I can get in on this again because this was incredible, and I appreciate them for bringing this to me. So we are working on some Cadillac rainbows in this grow tent, and I believe we are now on week 5 of flower. Or no, sorry, week 6 of flower. And so we're pretty much, it looks like we're really going to be tapering stuff off this time. Yeah. Is that too bright? It might be too bright. It might be too dark. I don't know. Oh, there we go. And it's all backwards. But maybe it's forwards and it's just backwards because of the thing I'm using. But anyhow, yeah, like I said, I am here at week 6. And so we were kind of doubled up a couple weeks ago. So now we're going to be tapering down. Looks like we're halving on some of the stuff and pumping up on whatever this is. I think this might be PK. Yes, it is. So that's fine. Yeah. And pretty much, I don't really, I know this is a bet. I know this is a faux pas, but I really don't pay attention to these things down here, to the ppms or the EC, the electroconductivity, or the pHs. I could start doing that if I wanted to. However, I don't quite grasp or understand how to do pH up and pH down when I'm using like a reservoir. And also, I know that there's usually kind of a bit of variance, between plant to plant. Some plants like more, some plants like less. It's just kind of, I think it's all dependent on the fat, on just the way the soil works and just different, attributes. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing now over here with the reservoir because it's empty. Okay. I mean, so far so good. Pretty good. Yeah, see, this is the reservoir. It's like empty though. There's like tiniest little bit of water in there. Maybe one little cup. Yeah, these days we're up to 2 cups a day of water. So that's good. All right, cool. Was it good? It was good? That's good. All right, so my style is pretty simple. I just like to keep everything here next to the tent. And then I pretty much just have this like plastic cup of water, right? Nice. Okay. I see what I did. And it's funny. I think it is hilarious. All right. Okay. We're going to put this here and this here. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. So, it has like a whole bunch of CalMag filled up. Oh, hi, kitty. You're like, what are you doing? I'm talking to the world. I'm talking to my 3 awesome viewers right now. That's what's going on, kitty. Mini snarf. Yeah, so this is all a bunch of CalMag buildup that just happens over time. I mean, I really don't care. Like, can't really get enough CalMag or silicone. So yeah. But my style will be that I will follow this down the list, fill it up, and then fill it with water. It'll make kind of like a frothy little milkshake sort of look. I think last week I made a quick little YouTube short making fun of that. Like, oh, look, this is a galaxy. Right? And so that's kind of what'll happen. But yeah, we're gonna mix this in. Said week 6. So I can just cheat and use this. So 9 blue D. This per gallon, so 9 milliliters. So this is 5, so that means 45. So I'm going to keep it closer, and then after I get my nutrients filled, I'll put it next to the tent, bring the hose, fill it up, frothy milkshake, feed my plants, move on. And we're kind of on like whole little like last 3 weeks sort of deal. And so, I mean, at some point in the day, I run a timer and I let the UVB light run for about 90 minutes just to make it really frosty and extra. And I found that, Mr. Wizard, the same person who provided, the same everything, right? Like you happen to also have to have access to the seeds. Thank you. Like this this Cadillac Rainbow smells smells better than the obviously like because it's like fresh, right? It smells like the end product of the last time, but it was like these got seeds in them. Give me those seeds. I gotta grow it, and it was just like the timing, and I was like, Patty's done. Let's get these started. And they just, and I didn't even like give it a second. Oh, give me attention or give it the world. Well, not the world, but whatever. This is attention. And so, yeah, I'm just so amazed and happy. Like, I'm not going to show them on here because the camera is pretty much pinned to that location. I'm feeling lazy. Maybe I'll do an indoor grow status live while we're doing live, and then that way you can look at that. But, YouTube's kind of on their ish because it has to be because we consider it 18 and over content. Yeah, so Bloom B, I think you said 9. That's 45. Yeah. They have like a mixing order, so it says Bloom B, Bloom A, PK, Cal Mag, and Cleanse. So 45. This is 30 to the brim, so that's kind of how we're gonna 30 and then 15, right? And, I don't know if your folks ever taught you when you did home ec, but you're supposed to, pour over the container. 30. And then, oh yeah, 15 does just half. A little more. That's good. And Blue B is usually the same amount. Yeah, because it's a mix of the same thing. I mean, I just had Blue B, so Blue A is a mix of the same amount, so you get 45. I always think this one's pooping rotate seeds and stuff, but I don't really know. I think it's all brown, 30. Right. Okay. All right. So where are we at now? 9, 9, 10. So 50. So 225 of the PK. There's PK. This is the PK thing. Yeah. Okay. And I used to have the silica, but I believe they told me the cleanse has silica in it, and so I've not been, using the silica anymore. We'll save it for something else. I mean, they seem right. Like they seem strong. Like the branches side to believe that might be right. Okay, so we said tip 50. So yeah, 50. Got it. So that's usually like just before the top of the brim. Like, yeah. 5. And then for CalMag, it says 3 to 5. So I just like to keep it on the. I'm gonna keep it on the lower end. I was gonna say I usually like to keep it on the higher end, but we'll try to lower it this time. So 3 times 5 is 15, right? So 15. So pretty much half. There we go. Yeah, because I'm just saying there's like a whole bunch on the side and residue, so why not? Why do that? Okay. The cleanse. It says cleanse 2 to 5. So I don't know. Let's do 3 times 5 is 15. Okay. I haven't even started working on the controllers yet. Sick. Like I've been. You gotta look at the video. Like you gotta look at the live stream. Yeah. No, I've been working on like the plants like just after dropping some stuff off and getting the print job started. I will get to it, but usually with the live garage streams, they usually take like hours. Like this is like I'm intending for this to be like a 4 to 6 hour stream typically. So but I will let you know like in another video or however time this goes. We'll talk about it. I think for one of these controllers, I've already taken it apart and it didn't work, and so this is now the second time. Yeah, 4 to 6. Yeah. I mean, sometimes longer. Like I've had 12, 13 hour, live streams just because, well, no, I don't like going over 12 hours because then it doesn't actually get recorded to YouTube. It's like a live event, but you can't watch it later. And so that is something you need to like be aware of. Because I made this crazy, like ridiculously long live stream where I was like 20 something hours. Not 46. I said 426. Yeah. Yeah, all right. So let's finish this up. So the cleanse, we said 2 to 3, right? Is where we're at. So let's just 3. 3 times 15. So there we go. I guess it's a 5 gallon bucket. And this is milliliters per gallon. Which doesn't make sense, right? Like, why sense? Again, it's an American market, but damn, guys. Okay, yeah, so 15. Well, it was a little more than 15. Too bad. It's going to have to work now. Okay. So that's good for me, or good for the goose and gander. So this is my little milkshake concentrate here. We're going to see what it looks like. That's not. Oof. Try to do whatever I can to not destroy my camera here, huh? That's what it looks like. And so that's the pre-measured concentrations, and we are gonna fill that up with water. So okay, I'll see you later, buddy. It's good to see you again. Oh. Wow. Oh, nice. There you go. Okay, so yeah, come on. Fill this up. The cat's like, I can't wait for this to get filled up. The thing about the cat too is she likes to like dip her paws in the water. Like at first I was like, stop, but I mean it's not the plants. Like the plants have, the grow medium of the dirt to filter out whatever her paws are doing. It's a cat, and this is her like living space, like her domain. If I really didn't want her to do this, I gotta get a little like cover. Like I have something I could put on and just keep her out of it. That is a potential possibility. But yeah. All right. I'm gonna take a look at this 3D print to see if things are looking good so far. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Things are looking. They're not perfect, but they're not bad. They're looking a little better. Let's see. I think I forgot. I think I made a critical error and stuff I have to do. So I may actually be called out to do something that I forgot I got to do. I usually like to, because there's a little bit of the residue on my fingers. I think that cleanse has something that's akin to bleach in there. I hate to say it, but I smell something that smells like clean product. You looking at what I'm doing, kitty? Yeah. You're just like, What's going on here? It is so wild. Oh, nice. How do you like your Viva Sun 4x4? This is, I think this is not a 4x4. Or I don't know. If this is a 4x4, let me know. Nah, because the 4x4 would be a square cube. I believe this is a 3x4. That's what is going on here. But yeah. Huh. We should try these Viva sunglasses over you, like on the camera, and see how they work, if they work well or not. Yeah? Well, that's sick. I guess I got really lucky then. So I did not buy this. I had someone give this to me. They were, trying to get rid of it, and I like jumped on it. I was like, yeah, let me have that. And it's been like going on, 2 years now. I think 3 years. It's gonna be 3 years soon. And I've been just kind of growing indoor grows with it as I can. I mean, originally I tried germinating like outside, like out here, and then moving into here, and that didn't work. And then, eventually I realized just let it just germinate in here, and it works like fantastic. So that's kind of what I've been doing. All right, this is almost done here. It's looking frothy, but not as frothy as it normally looks. I think that's just because probably the stuff that was making it frothy isn't like its great concentration anymore. I'm thinking it was the grow the bloom A and bloom B making it do that effervescence kind of move. Oh, I mentioned earlier in stream. I'm mixing a bunch of like a blended program from Athena Agriculture. My friend basically had like some information about a giveaway a couple of years ago, like that was kind of towards the beginning of the year, and they were like, "Here, put your name into this thing, and they'll send you some product." And they sent me this huge setup where it was like, they're like, "How many plants you have?" I was like, "Oh, well, I have 4 plants here," and I showed the 4 plants. And so yeah, they gave me like a shit ton of like product to use, and so um, I've been just using it the whole time. Yeah, they've been pretty fantastic. Um, Whatever line item this was at, I told them because I gave them feedback about it for giving me this. I was like, "There's no way I can afford this," and they were like, "Oh, okay, well, that's not the price you would have been paying for it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty good to know." So I'm presuming a setup like this is probably like 120 to 150 bucks, maybe 200 bucks. But this has lasted going on like 2 years now, and I mean, you saw there's maybe like there's gallons here, and I used like perhaps like 25 to 30 milliliters like per run, like per week. And so, I mean, like, let's see, like this one, like this feels like maybe it's not even a quarter of the way through, not even a quarter. And so, yeah, it's been good. I'm just using General Hydroponics. Nice. Okay. Do you like it? How do you like it? Like, I really don't have a lot of experience. I've been using Fox Farm. That's what I got started on, and I still have like a bunch of like the original stuff I had. Um, I did some outdoor growing for a bit, and that came out really well. This year, actually, it failed. It was my first outdoor grow where I failed. I think it failed because I tried to work from clones that were in the middle of being like in the end of flower, which was this is a dumb thing. Nice. Okay. Okay. Just the reverse, or just kind of like where it's just kind of the pump and like your reservoir, and you just kind of keep the res. Or yeah, actually no, wait. Yeah, I think so. Is it like you have a separate reservoir where all the nutrients go, or do you actually do your individual nutrients within each like pot? Like my first time in here, I did DWC. I still have them like right here. Actually, these are the ones I use, like with Aquasens and stuff. Yeah, man, that's sick. Like I enjoy doing it, but the hang up I have growing algae. And yeah. That's pretty much why I had each bucket was separate. Oh my I'm having a bunch of oh there we go. Like yeah, it was like a hiccup in like the stream for a moment. Yeah, like my problem with the DWC was they kept having a bunch of issues with algae, and so I had to like once a week transfer into a dry bucket, dump it, like clean it out, scrape it, and then well not scrape it, just like clean it because this actually came out really easily. And then I tried hydrochloric acid, well, not hydrochloric acid. Where is that? Hydrogen peroxide. There you go. Yeah, I used that for like a little bit, and that kind of works. But the problem was I wasn't covering the top surface like so that it was dark in there, and I think that was part of it. Also, I didn't really have good airflow. That's been a problem I've been having, and I recently figured it out. And so this past grow now is actually like really good. This is all done, so I'll put this away. Okay, or here, I'm gonna turn this off. I'll give you a little water. A little more water anyway. Alright. I think when I started, it was all windy, and I love windy weather. It's my jam. So I'm gonna see how I fix this. You can't see it, but basically the screen on the camera is all jacked up now. Display maybe? No, that's not it. What does this mean? Okay, cool. Then display. Yes! Sick. Okay. Got the PlayStation controllers charging. You got the PlayStation controllers charging? Nice. AC Infinity oscillating fans? Yeah. I wonder if there's a good way. There really is not. I wish there was. I need to get like a satellite camera, and then the satellite camera being able to easily see within the grow tent. That would be pretty dope. I got an idea. What I can do is I can use the phone, right, to do like kind of a quick little video, right, of everything going on. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick video of everything going on. Oh, but first we're gonna see if how good or bad this works for you, co-viewer. So try. Does this work? Not really. It kind of works, but not really. Like not very well. Yeah. See, like I see your PlayStation controllers in the back. Oh yeah. No, the PlayStation controllers actually aren't being charged, Joe. These controllers are broken right now, right? So we're going to be trying to fix them. This one will not like this one doesn't charge at all, and this one seems like it charges fine and everything. When you turn it on, though, none of the buttons work. Like none of the face buttons work. These buttons work fine, but none of this works. And so I'm pretty certain that it has to do with I'm thinking it has to do with the little thing. There's like a little piece of paper or whatever. Not paper, but the sensors, the button sensors are possibly like moved out of the way or adjusted. And we're going to do this review of this candy here, this coffee candy. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, it is. Oh, my bad. Why am I even doing this? I'm so sorry, dude. Like, yeah, here you go. So I was trying for a brief second to see if I could, use this as a filter over. I'm going to close the garage door. So, yeah, because there's no reason to have it open. I got the water I needed. What are you thinking, kitty? Are you trying to leave? No? You don't have to go. You can stay. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I didn't. I did not at all catch that was happening. Yeah, let's see. Like, what at what angle can kind of works, and then it's focusing on me and not necessarily the background. Okay. Yeah. Where's the phone? Oh, it's over there. Okay. Right. Oh my god, this weed smells ridiculous, guys. It smells ridiculous. Is that why you're here, Katie? Because you're like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's funny. Okay. So yeah, the other day I found that this shit like works marvelous, like doing it this way. Like, check it out, guys. It's like perfect. You know, like this is amazing. And so yeah, you just use this like for doing the videos for the for the like weed status updates. And so we get that, and then I'm gonna suit up, right, put my own stuff on. So I'm gonna show you kind of what my current setup is, and we'll play that back, and then okay, so that's good. All right, sorry. Oh, oh, there we go. All right. I'm really gonna have to make sure the cat's not gonna try to go here, you know. There we go. So you guys will get to see what I'm seeing here. So this is what I'm running, right? A Solar Storm 440. Somebody asked me about it, and I did the whole little calculations that they asked. And yeah, sure enough, this is the right size, perfect thing that you need to be using for this size of grow tent. This, I think it's a 3x4 or a 2x3. I don't really know exactly how they clean the units. But yeah, this is kind of what we are working with. So yeah, these are the Cadillac Rainbows that I've got growing right here. Like I said, we're 6 weeks into flower. I expect another 3 weeks and these will be ready to pop. Um, like I said, a little later today, we are going to do this UV light that's right here, right? And that's just going to give it like a little bit of extra, kind of like a little bit of a suntan, if you will, so that it does a little bit more tricone production. I never get the word right. I never get it right. All right, that's it, y'all. All right, so that was that. So now we're going to play this back for you, and let's get this light out of your sight, Kitty, because you know this is definitely uncomfortable. It is very uncomfortable. Like it's sort of like it's like looking adjacent to the sun. It's you're just like fine, whatever, that's cool. Okay. So this is the right size, perfect thing that you need to be using for this size of grow tent. This, I think it's a 3x4 or 2x3. I don't really know exactly how to clean the units, but yeah, this is kind of what we are working with. So yeah, these are the Cadillac Rainbows that I've got growing right here. Like I said, we're 6 weeks into flower. I expect another 3 weeks and these will be ready to pop. Um, like I said, a little later today, we are going to do this UV light that's right here, right? And that's just going to give it like that little bit of extra, kind of like a little bit of a suntan, if you will, so that it does a little bit more tricone production. I never get the word right. I never get it right. All right, that's it. Yeah, and that's it. You have it. There you have it, Jared. I oh, there we go. Nice. All right. Okay, so We got this reopened. Let me mute this again. And there we go. Oh, go to live. Come on. Live. There we go. All right. Right. So that's kind of where things are at now that you saw. I'm going to go ahead and get the plants watered, okay? And there were 2 sets of glasses. I don't remember where the second case is there. All right, cool. So these are my glasses that I'll use. And like I said, this is why we did the whole little weekly reservoir. So this is now ready. And so it's just right here. And these days, these plants are taking 2 full cups of water a day. Like, it, honestly, when you fill it in there, it feels like, damn, is this gonna get bud rot? And it never does. It's always like, oh wow, it's dry the next day. Holy cow, we drank all that water. Oh, all right. Yeah. Oh my god, these just, oh man. Younger me is jealous of this. This is amazing. You know, younger me on the inside. Okay. Oh. Okay, you know. Just kind of had an Icarus moment. I flew a little too close to the sun there. That's why you're not supposed to move it. Breaking my own rule. Sorry. Where'd the cat go? I don't really care. I mean, I care, but I know. Oh, there she is. Okay. That's what he said. All right. Yeah, and I personally I like using dirt, just because a lot of the. So I had my own little problems with the DWC, mainly the algae, and also for whatever reason, I was having an issue with the. Because I was using what do I say, not cocoa core, the perlite, and I was having trouble with with fruit flies, and so yeah, not CD Cadillac Rainbow. I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, what do you mean by that, Johnny? Not CD Cadillac Rainbow. Yeah, I was saying I did grow these from seed. My boy said that it came from a thinned harvest, like a. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair. Let me get that going. Yeah, your palms are wet. Did you just touch the water? Oh, you just touched the grow water. All right. Let's chat. There we go. Dope. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I had bad root rot in my first plants. It was mimosa orange punch, actually a 24/7 stream. Ooh, I gotta check that out, man. I'd love to check that out. I'm gonna find you and look that up. Okay, something diesel maybe? Cadillac diesel? I don't know. Probably picked up. Okay. I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write that down. Come on. Yeah, this is killing me. Okay. I'll just write it myself. See, there she goes. Playing with the weed water. Yeah. Thank God I'm not trying to sell this right now, right? That'd be so gnarly and sketch if I was selling the weed and it's like, oh, but my cat played with the douche water. It's just life. No, it's just my personal stuff. There we go. The .eg. Okay, cool. And so then now I copy this. Come on. Come on. Looking like an old person here. Thank you so much, Ron. Appreciate that. Here we go. And now I can save this. Now I can check you out. I'm gonna check you out soon. Because I got a Twitch, but it's like kind of a ghost town for me. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Like I just heard of it like when my boy had it, and it was the most delicious smelling weed like that I'd smelled in a very long time. And it happened to have some seeds in it. That's why he was like, "Oh yeah, no, it was from a Hermie plant." And I was like, "Okay, like, well, yeah, let me try this out. I'm gonna grow this like immediately." Nice. Okay. Yeah, I kind of looked in that for a bit. Like, it's I mean, I'm interested, but it's all process. Like, this is what I currently have for like my like mobile dabbing setup. It's just kind of like a double battery sort of thing. It has like a Divine Tribe V4.5 on it, and it just use like you said dabs. And so like that would be decent, like a decent idea to do. To spend maybe 180, $200 on the materials and like a little rosin press, and just kind of go down. I heard that the move is to do something like turn it into like hash rosin first, and then press it, and that way you get like a better yield versus just kind of the raw plant. But I don't know. Like it all becomes like after a while, I'm just like, fuck, I don't want to do none of that. I just want to just roll and smoke the weed and move on. It just very recently, I've kind of had trouble with, enjoying getting high. So, yeah, these days I do like edibles and use like dabs sometimes. Yeah, hi. How are you? Oh, you're like, we're done here? Well, we're live. The world is hanging out and looking at us hang out. What's the move, Kitty? What's the move? I've gotta do this repair stuff, huh? I'd like to get that done. Oh, and I've gotta try this Lucky 13 like foot. Yeah, let me get this Lucky 13 foot off of my bamboo lab printer so I can kind of get it going, and then we will get into the real meat and potatoes of this Frankenmint line, which is to try to attempt to repair these controllers. Come on, Kitty. I love you too, Kitty. I do, but yeah, you're not gonna go to sleep on me at this moment in time. Sorry. I know, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to break the rules of Kitty Dump. I know. Yeah, okay. Alright. Nice. Okay. Yeah, you too. You have a good rest of your night too. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Dottie. Like I appreciate your time. Like you're awesome. Keep being awesome and amazing, all right? Alright, come on, little guy. Or little gal, I gotta put you in. Alright, these are done. Put these up. My personal ones, phone camera ones. Oh, what is that? It's like residue. It's not good. Okay. So, like I said, this is a 1-day print job. Actually, a 2-day print job. Right. It's fine. Okay. Where did all that water come from? I think that was you messing with it. It messing with all the water. Well, I fed you a whole bunch, so I'm not feeling any more drunk in it. That's what it is, kitty. It is what it is, kitty. Alright. So this was all like a giant proof of concept. It's like a 5X Lucky 13 figurine. This one can go here. And this one can go here. And the way we know is the one with the X is the battery. The one with the faded X and faded side is the one with the control slid to the side issue potentially. So it's that. So want to. There we go. And go here. Yeah. So this is potentially a Lucky 13, figurine that I want to put together. However, this is the 5X size one. It's huge, right? It seems pretty freaking fun. So I have this really nice filament, but it's just basic PLA. It's not even PLA plus. And my understanding was that's kind of a mistake. But honestly, this is so beautiful. I couldn't say no to trying it. This little glitter is always going to probably make it maybe somewhat inherently weaker. And therefore, this perhaps will thrive more as like, will probably thrive more as like a decorative or ornamental style of like filament rather than something that like you should be using like for action figure joints, There we go. That's what I wanted. Trusty scraper. Gotta print one of these. These things are the shit. Like, I mean, shit. I wonder if you have a Micro Center, and I wonder if Micro Center sells like the little hardware kit to make this thing. Like, you should do it. This thing is awesome. And I'm like, it's awesome, and then it just doesn't work for me. It's funny. It's super sharp. I don't want to cut myself. Oh, there we go. I feel it. There we go. That's probably what I get for letting it sit on and cure the freaking build plate for a week, huh? Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, see, this is not enough give. That was what the issue was. Like me trying to just hammer this in, we'll crack it. Yeah, me just trying to hammer this in, we'll crack this. And so that was part of the concern. But I mean, it's such a beautiful looking foot, right? Okay, so now so let's get some stuff going. Huh? Let's get the rest of this off of here. I think I talked about. Yeah, that's right. I think I did. I talked about this on Twitter. I quit Twitter actually. It's funny you mentioned it. I will be back. I will return soon. But for now, I don't want to hear about the price of Bitcoin. I don't give a shit about it. I just want to like enjoy life without thinking about it for a day or a week or like it's just I've done it too. Like I've already spent too many years doing that. I'm sick of it, and so I just need like a mental break from that. And so that's why I quit Twitter because of Gary Cardone's retarded emergency XYZK space. Like, dude, I didn't want to hear that. I just wanted to be left alone. Yeah. Oh man, this is kind of. So just an FYI, quick little like tidbit trick is you see how there's like glue residue on here? You could just fix this with some soapy water. Your soapy water will get that cleaned right up for you. But I suppose like I think Loyal Moses promotes this like specialized adhesive for it. I mean, I imagine that's going to be pretty good. Yeah, I see. It just kind of came right off. Okay, cool. Man, I hope this works. This whole little setup looks really cool. Like, this came off like so clean. Like, the thing is, this is like some of my favorite filament to print these days. All right. Some trees. All right. Cool. All right. So what we're gonna do is I don't know what time it is. I gotta figure that out. Thanks, man. We'll see. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, though. The whole point of this right now is we're gonna soften this up a little bit, warm it up, and soften it. Okay. What do you guys think? Like, would it make more sense to? Yeah. What do you guys think? Would it make more sense to heat this or heat this to kind of get a fit? I don't know. Yeah, it's like a kind of like I don't know. Oh, look at this. Okay, you see, there's little grooves in here. So this one is the one. Yeah, this is the one. So pretty much we're just. Oh, that's good. Nah, these tolerances are too small. Like, we're gonna have to like really like heat it up. Okay, I'm seeing bubbling. You don't want that. You really don't want that. All right. Okay. I don't know if that was a problem or not, though. Like I said, like that just sort of like slipped right on. I don't know. A little too disconcerting for my comfort, you know. Are there other parts that I can check fit right now with this first plate? I don't think so. I think now I need the actual underlying stuff. The underlying stuff is PLA plus though, so that might be all right. All right, so this was all I really needed to do for this. Um, there was an incentive to get this put away. Huh. I wonder. I was thinking about using the rest of this like cream white PLA that I bought. Maybe I could use it to get the little left leg portion done. Did I send a bunch of plates soon or just one? Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, let me explain, Joe. So yeah, this giant like 5X robot, right? It's probably like this tall. It's you can't really tell. Let me back up the camera. So right now you're just looking at like the foot of an action figure, right? And that's how big it is. You know, I have big mitts, right? And so like it's basically gonna be like taller than the Squirtle, you know, that I made. And so we're talking like like this, like jeez, like okay, there we go. So we see me, right? Yeah, so we're talking like this big, I think, right? Like freaking huge. And so basically, people online were complaining that if you use basic PLA, which is what this is, that this is poor, like it's poor for joint rigidity. Like this will fail eventually, is what they're saying. And I'm just like, well, it's the foot, and as long as I do the heat thing and I don't try to hammer it in like you guys saw, I mean, this should work. And so I've got some underlying PLA plus that that is going to be for like the bones. And so yeah, the way it works is this is sort of like the skeleton frame, and then underneath is going to be like I think bone structure. Let's see, how does it go? I honestly think it goes like this. I think yeah, this looks right. Oh yeah, see that looks kind of more right. Okay, so you see it kind of fits like that, right? I mean, or sorry, this is gonna probably look like that. There you go. And it's gonna have like full posability and stuff, you know. And so this thing is pretty rad. Like I'm excited for it. Oh, okay, yeah. See, this goes right here, kind of thing. You know, I'm not really showing much. It's like not making sense. Okay, but I'm not really worried about that. Okay, so this is looking good. I'm gonna take these and then pretty much, I suppose, I'm gonna do a short tomorrow when I continue working on this, and we'll talk about this during the short. Is there like a little bit of insider knowledge on? Okay. So far, so good. I gotta go inside for a second. I gotta check out what's going on. I will be right back. Yeah, yeah. I'm stoked to show you guys. Stoked to show you guys. Waiting for me? Thanks, see you waiting for me. Yeah, sorry I kept you waiting, YouTube. I was busy having to do what I had to do. So yeah, we are back. Another dinosaur story. Let's see, we're gonna see. Is this cold now? Yeah, it's cold. Okay. All right. Oh, you want to go? Okay, well, come on, let's go. We can go. I think my cats wanted to leave. So. All right, Kitty, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, right? Let me figure it out. Yeah, so this is looking pretty good actually. Ah. All right. Excellent. Okay. All right. Let's move this out of the way. What's going on, little guy? Or little gal? What's up? Like, you've been plenty fed. I noticed you didn't actually drink the water. You just kind of batted it out. That's fine. So, like, are you even drinking water? Or are you looking for me? That's what it is. You want me to hold you for 5 minutes? All right, come on, hold you for 5 minutes. Come on. Oh, the Transformers blocking you. Okay. Here we're gonna. See, look, you're on TV. No, not crumbs. You see what's going on here? Cat's like, all right, nap time. Start sleeping. Oh, cool. The first layer's done. You should check it out. Here, come on. Let's Like I said, we watched the TV for just a moment, huh? Live stream be darned. Yeah. Nah, I gotta get back to the topic, huh? All right, so yeah, we're going to work on these printer parts and this extruder and these PlayStation controllers. Yeah. Am I though? I mean, there's a cat here. Like, cat's like trying to use me as like a sleeping apparatus. I don't know, Moon. I think the cat's winning on. I think the cat's winning on me on YouTube. Sorry. Yeah. Great. I'm gonna move the little transformer bot so you can see the ridiculousness I'm talking about here. So And I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the remote. Oh, there it is, so I can watch TV, enjoy myself for a bit. What did you dip out, Kitty? Like, that would be ironically exceptionally convenient. Let's see. I felt bad. I don't really feel bad because you're like both fed. Like, you're good. Oh, there you are. I'm fine. Here you go. All right, yeah, you want to stay, so I'm gonna close the door. Sorry. Oh, hi. Hi. You miss me? Yeah, don't worry. I got you. Come on. Yeah, doing what I got to do. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna keep this going, and I'm gonna turn this off because you need that. So I'll show you. All that is like a bright little spotlight. That's just kind of this. It's just literally like this. Yeah, right. And like I'm using it for like to be able to kind of get good, clear, focused macro shots. And I kind of keep it just down here on this little DJ console player that's never been opened. 1 point someday, if I'm really interested, I will get into it and love it. What happened was I was intending to try to use it for a like a work reimbursement a couple of years ago, and it happened, and I moved on. So yeah, it's pretty good. Like I said, my cat's probably going to be hanging with me for a bit. We're going to be watching TV this way, so I really have no clue. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I just turned it off already. Hi. Hi. Yeah, seeing you won't be here. Hi. Yeah, when I first got the kitty, I totally sang the soft kitty song to it for a bit. But then I started feeling kind of cornball and I stopped. So, yeah. Happy Veterans Day. I keep like looking at this, I keep forgetting that that's a thing. That's what's going down. So, right, we're going to. I think maybe 1 or 1:30. I'm gonna pick up some dinner. I'll do my little Taco Bell run, like I said. You know. Oh, sweet. Thanks. Thanks for subscribing to me, Donnie. I appreciate that. Okay, so I kissed Jen, got a little bit of your hair on her bluff. That's what I get honestly. Hi. YouTube. I'm trying to. Oh, here we go. Like I'm trying to like go back to look at the comments, right? Because it's yeah. That's the angle here. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, cool. Like, there's something worse than like you watching somebody and like they're like not talking back to you and you're talking to them. It's like annoying. I hate that. And so I don't want to be part of that. My old ass. Okay. I wonder if do these work good? Would this be a good reaction video format? You know, like to be able to talk about the stuff I found and enjoy it. I don't really know. I don't know. Like I say, sometimes I want OBC or sorry OBC. I want OBS like really like working well and optimized on the Pi, and then I could have a satellite camera. I think that would be pretty rad. Like so that you can kind of see head on what I'm like looking at. Or even it would be sick if I could like if I could get maybe some this is kind of go crazy, like I need a job again, right? If I had a job and I was like really down for the cause, I would get some of them like Ray-Bans, the smart meta glasses, to have that as like a satellite pass through of the stuff. And then I could probably listen to music into it, listen to audio into it. If I listen to audio into it, I probably wouldn't get like clipped for like copyright on the lives. That happens to me a lot because like I stream Fortnite and stuff, and sometimes I turn it on to creator, but then it's like kind of boring. And then a lot of times I don't, and it's like when I don't, it's actually pretty good. Um, no, we're gonna hold on. So the cocaine bear, right? Nothing in the chat yet. Yeah, cocaine bear. Oh, I got it. I'm like, oh, I got it. I want to use the little robot, but I've got the cat in such a comfortable spot. Like I don't want to move. Yeah, the cat's gonna deal with it, huh? Cat. Yeah, come on. There we go. There we go. Now I can run this sort of in the background. Or not, just or no, that's pretty good because if I have it this way, then I can look at the comments happening while looking into the camera. That's pretty good. I like that. That's a good plan. Don't worry, folks. We'll try this Coca-Cola soon now. Come here, kitty. Come on. Oh, I PO'd you one too many times. Yeah. Yeah, I PO'd my cat one too. Oh, womp womp. I see what I just did there. Like there we go. I'm gonna check out the status of 3D print going on here. Oh my goodness, this is gonna work. This is looking like this is gonna work. This is so awesome. I am overjoyed. Come on, let's. Or we'll wait. Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe I messed up. Or maybe it's backflowing. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, I wonder if that will get me clipped because it's technically like a component. Probably not. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's what's live, so I can see the viewfinder. So there's a no. What's going on is I'm not looking live. That's what's happening. Live. 45 minutes ago. Good lordy. Sponsored by Winco. Oh man, wow, that's nuts. I've been looking at like the whole wrong angle for a bit. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. I think I'm just gonna leave it. Okay. Yeah, so pretty much like Cocaine Bear was like a movie that came out like I guess either the beginning of this year or the end of last year. I think it came out the end of last year, but it was a crappy movie, but it was a fun movie. Like a crappy movie but fun movie is still a good movie. Like it's a net good movie, and so it's kind of weird. It's it. And of course, it spawned a whole like slew of alts, and so we have Crackoon and Meth Gator. And me and Wrecking Ball recently saw Meth Gator, and it was good but bad, right? Like it was so good that it was really bad. Like I think it killed the what is it called? Um, what killed the immersion for that movie was the fact that you don't eat on meth, and so why was this methed out gator not why wasn't he abstaining from that? I mean, yeah, he could mess up a man, but he was just eating, right? And it's like, yeah, that don't match. That don't match. And so, yeah. And so I found Crackcoon, so I'm gonna, we'll watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. And then immediately thereafter, I'm gonna look for more of them, see what I see. So that's cool. Do you want the good news, Kitty, or the bad news? The good news is I love to hold you, and you're wonderful at and you're clutch. The bad news is the soundbar went off. The soundbar. The soundbar went off. The soundbar went off. I mean, I'm not watching the TV in silence. I don't care if I have caption. The soundbar went off. I gotta turn it off. I can check the cat, check the kitty, but I'm not gonna check the kitty because I love the kitty. I can hold the cat as I attempt to lift it, but I notice that still makes the cat uncomfortable. And she's like, I don't want to go. Or I can do what I've been doing, and I can kind of put the cat down again for just a moment to turn on the soundbar. Let's spend a moment to figure out what we're going to watch first. So we could go action-y, we could go comedy, or we could go sci-fi. Or we could keep watching JFK assassination shit. I love JFK. Yes, yes, yes. We're watching JFK assassination shit. Sorry, not sorry. So we put this on my radar. We've got 46 minutes left. We're gonna watch this shit. It's called JFK to 9/11. Everything is a rich man's trick. This this movie is some shit. It's a great movie. So yeah, we're gonna turn back on that soundbar, and we're going to watch that movie. So what are we doing, Kitty? Am I holding you good yet? You get down, okay? You get down. You keep walking over there like, hey, where's the food? Like, I fed you like a good meal like twice, so you're good. You are okay. Are you trying to leave? You're kind of giving me the like I'm trying to leave look. You trying to leave? Do you want to leave or take it out? What do you want? I'm not gonna leave it open. I'm not. Yeah, come on. You want to take it out? Come on. Like the whole point of little cat was I wish I could get rid of the live chat privacy guard thing because this is just like ridiculous. Like, go away. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by guidelines. I wish I could hide that, just so I could see more. Oh wait, is it not working because I'm doing it that way? Live. There we go. I wonder if I was one of those. Okay, well let's close this because I can talk. All right, and then we're going to watch some JFK and 9/11, more of it. The last 46 minutes we got of it.
The notion that he was the criminal mastermind behind the Kennedy assassination is simply another disinformation falsehood dreamed up by the CIA. He was most definitely involved in the plot and offered up his personal hitman, Mac Wallace, to be part of it. But the men who actually masterminded the plot were Alan Dulles and David Ackley Phillips, with George Bush being the most important figure in the actual execution of the plan. And even they, in the end, proved themselves to be just as crude and obvious as anyone else in the way they took care of anyone who might incriminate them. On the 22nd of February 1967, Eladio Del Valle and David Ferry were both murdered within minutes of each other when it seemed they might give information to the Jim Garrison investigation. Charles Boyd Harrelson and Milwaukee Phil Aldericio suffered convenient early deaths in jail, and having been ordered to testify before the House Select Committee on Assassinations, both Charles Nicoletti and George Molenschott were shot dead at the same time on the 29th of March 1977. Having been scheduled to testify before the same committee, Johnny Roselli met a similar fate. His body was found floating in an oil drum in Dumfounding Bay, Miami, just after Malcolm Wallace was murdered in exactly the same way as Lee Bowers. On a stretch of empty American highway, his car was forced off the road, and CIA agents smashed his head into the steering wheel until he died, to make it appear like a single car accident. Not long afterwards, Sam Giancana was shot in the back of the head while cooking sausages, and his spy inside the Chicago police force, Richard Kane, was blasted to death with a sawn-off shotgun in Rose's sandwich shop on the 19th of December, 1973. Absolute proof that George H.W. Bush was the most important figure behind these grisly murders and the Kennedy assassination surfaced quite recently in a declassified FBI memo which revealed he was working for the CIA in 1963 and not from 77 onwards, as he'd always claimed. He had been a lifelong friend of George de Morenschott, who had actually begged him for help when he realized the CIA were trying to kill him. It was therefore rather ironic that when the police checked de Morenschott's wallet, they found an address card which gave them a direct lead straight to the guilty party had they but chosen to follow it up. It said George Poppy Bush, his CIA code name, Zapata Petroleum, Midland, Texas. It became a farewell note from the man who coordinated the crime of the century, a man whose father, Prescott Bush, had created the CIA in the first place, along with his friends, some 30 years before, purely in order to take care of their own business.
Did you know George Bush
They arrogantly believed they were more intelligent than anyone.
I didn't know that.
But in the end, the means the George Bush-led CIA chose to silence all the major underworld figures who might incriminate them proved to be every bit as crude and obvious as Ruby's killing of Oswald on television. The whole point of George Bush and his Central Intelligence Agency was that they were supposed to be intelligent, and yet in the end, they couldn't even fool little old ladies.
And who was going to inhibit them? The gangsters that are running this country is going to inhibit somebody.
That was the
All institutions of the American government are essentially a gangster syndicate. And everybody knows this. So perhaps it's time now to ask what we have learned and how best we can use this new understanding about the West's secret history to evaluate what is really going on in our world right now. To begin with, let's answer a couple of questions which have perplexed many people over the years.
You gotta get you a
A
guy
great
dog
many
straight.
researchers and historians,
Dog
funded by the
that's like
Kennedy
cat.
family themselves, almost
Cat
seem to
dog.
be aiding and abetting the cover-up by choosing to be so quiet about the assassination itself. After the revelations of Chuck Giancana, there now seems little doubt that this is because they know a full disclosure of Joe Kennedy's dirty political dealings with the mafia would likely leave the Kennedy name in a very tarnished state. Up until now, history has tended to give the Kennedy patriarch a distinguished and squeaky clean image, which went along with his appointment as the American ambassador to Britain. Like most things about the ruling class, this image is false, because it's clear that Joe Kennedy was every bit as big a crook as his business associate, Sam Giancana. However, it also seems necessary now to revise the entire history of the Kennedy brothers. The reputation of Edward Kennedy never recovered from the Chappaquiddick incident, in which Mary Jo Kopechne lost her life when she drowned in his overturned car when he allegedly drove off this unlit bridge whilst under the influence. At the time, the public believed this was a married man misbehaving, but it's come to light recently that our old friends, Frank Sturgis and E. Howard Hunt, were seen in the Martha's Vineyard area just prior to the accident. Once again,
Interesting.
it's the same dirty people pulling the same dirty tricks. The media's treatment of this affair destroyed any chance Edward Kennedy might have had of becoming president. And we do now have to wonder if this was yet another example of the CIA controlling public opinion. To the same end, it is also now clear why such venerable institutions as the BBC and other prominent European broadcasters have assisted in the cover-up. They always knew the Kennedy assassination was a can of worms,
Whoa.
and that if the whole truth in the story were pursued vigorously, it would lead right back to the case of Auschwitz and the obscene profits which Europe's royalty and heads of state made from their investments in slave labor. This is a brutal truth which the West must now confront, and
Yeah.
an equally brutal problem the United States must now face is the question of what has happened to the US military in the intervening years since it murdered its own commander-in-chief. The answer is that America's armed forces are now completely controlled by the American mafia. The mob don't even need hitmen anymore. They use United States Marines as assassins. They are, as Sam Giancana said, one organization who keep a low profile while they control the world as a business. And in an effort to prove this is so, in 1998, Pastor Rick Strawcutter videotaped a quite remarkable interview with Kay Pollard Griggs, formerly the wife of Colonel George Griggs, who for many years was the head of NATO. He was also an alcoholic of that well-known kind, who was shy and unable to communicate when they are sober, but who then cannot stop talking once they have a drink. During the course of a stormy marriage, punctuated by periods of domestic violence, which cost Kay Griggs many black eyes and broken bones, she learned that her husband had been turned into a brutal psychopath as a consequence of his military training, which included induction into what is known as the Pink Triangle, the Cherry Marines. Over the years, far too much has been written about Lee Harvey Oswald. But what is remarkable is that few historians were ever aware that, like most Marines who worked in intelligence, he was homosexually recruited and was part of the same-sex club, which included Jack Ruby, George Senator, and David Ferry.
Whoa.
Kay Griggs explains that these selection procedures came into the US military when the cream of the death's head sporting Nazi top brass joined the American ranks at the war's end. Ever since then, the Greek and Spartan traditions which Hitler so admired, and which were integral to the German army, have found their way into American military culture and are now manifest in the way that the old skull and bones procedure for identifying and, most importantly, controlling rising stars is now used to select the top brass of the future. In a nutshell, boy soldiers who want to rise in the ranks can only do so by doing favors for the older men.
So George Bush, I mean, all these people rise up to the ranks of the
That's
same
disgusting.
club. No wonder, I saw a little TV clip one time where a reporter was asking George Bush and others about the Order of the Skull and Bones.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it. What does that mean for America?
I mean, if this really got out, that these guys are all inducted because they've got some kind of homosexual
Right.
thing on them.
Indoctrination. Or induction. They have to do that.
Yeah.
They do.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Even
In a
if,
coffin.
Sounds like Diddy, doesn't it?
Even now coming into the
Sounds like
military
Epstein,
code,
doesn't it?
The chiefs do that. They put them in the coffin. They do the bowling ball trick.
okay, you gotta explain this. What happens when you get in the coffin? Why do you get in a coffin?
Oh, they get when you get your eagles. That's
Uh-huh.
a German thing.
Okay.
It's what the German
I gotta
hyphenated
sleep
with.
in Diddy.
Most of them, have the boyfriends
Or
and stuff.
sleeping
The
cat.
proofs and all that. It is a German thing that they say goes back to Greece, and it's all the male marine-looking men that they do it with.
Okay.
So now the chiefs have to do that. What they do is George said it's like a zoo. They get everybody really drunk, and they sometimes call it dining in. Shellback is another time that they do it. Not everybody does it, but the ones who do it, if they're young, they get right up to the top. It's a
Okay, well, what actually do they do? They've got a coffin, they get inside
anal
this.
sex. That they do. They put them in the coffin.
She said anal sex. Went right to
This is how military recruits are now controlled. And the mafia military
That's
exert
wild.
a similar hold over all career politicians. At
That's
some
wild.
time on the way up, they are maneuvered into a compromising position, usually through the use of two-way mirrors in a brothel. And once the mafia military have got something on them, the career politicians, judges, senior police officers, and media moguls face a stark choice. Either take your payoff, which is usually worth millions of dollars, or go to jail for life for your misdemeanor. It is with these kinds of tactics, first used by Sam Giancana in the 1930s, that what are now known as the five mafia families of the New York metropolitan area, the Genovese, Gambino, Lucchese, Colombo, and the Bonanno, control all politics in the United States, and through their business arrangements with the five-star generals and CIA, control all cocaine and heroin trafficking throughout the entire world.
Damn.
After the dust had settled on the Kennedy assassination, Sam Giancana explained to his younger brother that the mob and the CIA had taken care of JFK together because they were essentially two sides of the same coin. In the last 50 years, that relationship between these two secret societies has become even closer, to the point where they are now indistinguishable. The people who live in the third world are so well aware of what is really going on, they have come to call the CIA the cocaine importing agency.
Yeah.
The World Wide Web now abounds with proof to back this up. And although many people were skeptical at first about Kay Griggs, in recent times her most sensational claims have been fully endorsed by the FBI chief Ted Gunderson, who gave several interviews in support.
Damn.
This cult was involved in distributing drugs up and down the East Coast, drugs that were being flown in from Southeast Asia in military and planes. The operation was by the certain Army personnel and also CIA. She told me that there were generals involved in the drug operation. There were police officers and at least two attorneys in the Fayetteville, North Carolina area. The path that this led me down is mind-boggling. Over the last 23, 24 years, I have developed so much information about the situation as it exists in our great country and gone public with it as much as possible, and yet I'm being ignored.
What is basically happening is that the United States military use Air Force bases in Europe to connect with the Third World, particularly Pakistan and Afghanistan, where the poppy fields are cultivated. This is the real reason for the conflict in Afghanistan. It's to protect the record harvests of heroin, which almost ended when the Taliban took power. But they don't tell the soldiers this, and it's a truth you'll never hear on NBC or BBC. Having brought the refined cocaine and heroin into Europe and the United States, it is then passed on to the mafia for sale at street level, sometimes by police officers in uniform. It's an arrangement which nets the generals and the mafia chiefs billions. And the fact that someone of Ted Gunderson's credibility was completely ignored when he went public with this information underlines the fact that our entire mainstream media, as well as the entire justice system, has been bought off. So the question must now be asked, if this shadow government of the world's only superstate can get away with the murder of a president and through their wealth be in total control of the United States military, media, and the justice system, what else might they be getting away with?
Yeah.
Could it possibly be that the serious researchers have been right all along? And remembering what happened to Flight 553, that 9/11 truly was one huge confidence trick? Once the dust had settled on 9/11, people immediately began to realize there was something very wrong with the 9/11 TV coverage. First along came Dylan Avery with his amazing film, Loose Change. He proved conclusively that the official report was nonsense because aircraft fuel does not burn at even half the temperature required to melt steel, and that the towers defied the laws of physics by collapsing with perfect uniformity at free
Yeah.
fall speed.
That's controlled demolition.
Buildings in Germany, which were bombed over and over again, didn't collapse with perfect uniformity down to ground level. Avery also pointed out that in Kennedy's time, his chiefs of staff drafted plans to kill innocent people and commit acts of terrorism in the United States in order to whip up support for a war with Cuba. Codenamed Operation Northwoods, these plans included hijacking planes and blowing up ships and landmark buildings in order to stimulate a helpful wave of national indignation which could be used to oust Fidel Castro. And there wasn't anything exceptional in this initiative. Northwoods was an offshoot of the notorious Operation Gladio, a sustained campaign organized by MI6 and the CIA, which perpetrated many bombing atrocities in post-war Europe, which they blamed on what they said were communist terror organizations. A typical example was the horrific bombing of Bologna railway station in 1980. Italians would be appalled to learn this outrage was committed by the Americans and the British. But this particular atrocity, which like all others during this period was intended to keep people living in fear of a bogus enemy, so they would accept increasing state control by so-called strong leaders, illustrates only too well the fact that some 40 years prior to 9/11, the cabal of secret Nazis who killed Kennedy were making serious preparations for terrorist attacks upon their European allies and even upon their own country. In the 9/11 news footage, it is abundantly clear that the interviewees are actually paid actors, speaking lines which have been written for them.
I feel like I was in a movie.
This is exactly the same situation as in The Men Who Killed Kennedy. And because these are people who are being expected to perform, they tend to overdo it.
I could be the only one that Frankenmint. He killed the president. And to be honest with you, if I'd have known this, I would have guilty in an interview.
It is perfectly clear that the 9/11 street people are trying much too hard to convince their audience.
Approximately several minutes after the first plane had hit, I saw this plane come out of nowhere and just scream right into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. And then I witnessed both towers collapse, one first and then the second, mostly due to structural failure because the fire was just too intense.
9/11 was in reality just another CIA special effects movie production. And it really has become the Kennedy assassination's long lost twin, because witnesses who know the truth of what really happened are all being murdered. This didn't stop some people from immediately pointing out that the London tube bombings were a hoax. The alleged terrorists couldn't have ridden into London on a train which was cancelled. And seasoned researchers are now becoming quite surprised at how sloppy and obvious these alleged terrorist acts are becoming. Any detective would instantly realize the Woolwich terror incident was a joke. We were shown pictures of a supposedly decapitated man lying prone on the street. If that were true, he should be lying in a puddle of his own blood, and the alleged attacker would be soaked in blood all over his front from arterial spray. All terrorism is fake. It is military deception practiced by the rich upon the poor in an ongoing class war. And the most important weapon at their disposal in this class war are television presenters. The BBC has actually become the Ministry of Truth from Orwell's 1984. Everyone working for the BBC today is a whore of the ruling class and a traitor to our way of life, because it is very hard to believe they are all unwitting accomplices in this class war. When we remember that it was some of the BBC's own journalists who revealed that the 9/11 hijackers were all alive, it's hard to accept that their news presenter colleagues haven't figured out the totalitarian nature of what people like Jane Stanley, who reported the collapse of World Trade Center 7 20 minutes before it came down, are really up to. And yet still they go on giving us reassuring smiles while telling lies on behalf of the ruling class. Of course, then people ask, oh, yes, but why would they do it? Why is all of this Muslim, multicultural, political correctness thing happening to us right now? It's happening because we no longer have an enemy. Tourists today can visit what used to be the Eastern Bloc, and they can photograph the derelict, rusting heap of scrap metal, which used to be the Soviet war machine. It has gone, and this has created an unprecedented political situation which the world has never seen before, in which there is only one superstate, the Anglo-American alliance. No other power on earth today is capable of fighting a war on the grand scale. China, North Korea, Russia simply do not have the economic resources. So in order to make us believe that we still have an enemy and therefore have to live in fear, the rich had to provide us with a new enemy. And this is why in recent years they've encouraged unstable Islamic people to emigrate to the West. It's to provide us with a ready-made enemy. This is their master plan for this single superstate age. And it's for this reason that they perverted political correctness, to make people believe that anybody who refuses to go along with this new doctrine of multiculturalism is the worst person of all. In the West today, we've become quite used to seeing confrontations between the alleged lunatic fringe of Islam and indigenous white men who are trying to defend their culture from foreign influences. What groups like the EDL do not understand, however, is who is really pulling the strings here? Who is behind this? Who arranged this fight? Because any Roman senator would tell you this is simply the old maxim of divide and rule. The Romans invented this system. They always made sure that every conquered region pushed together tribes who were traditionally hostile to one another. The British copied this method after World War I by redrawing the entire map of the Middle East to make sure that the new boundaries always set one Arab tribe against another, particularly the Kurds. What we see on the streets of Britain and America today is the same thing. The whole idea is that while you're fighting against Muslims and they're fighting against you, no one has the time to stop and think about who actually created this situation and who their real enemy really is. The rulers of the Middle Ages arranged a never-ending religious war between Catholic and Protestant for precisely the same reason. Now, why must we always think we have an enemy? Because the ruling group always maintain their position in society by controlling the population through fear. Think about it. If we don't have an enemy, would the public be prepared to pay for the army? Would we be happy to pay for MI5 so that they can read our emails and put a surveillance camera on every street corner?
No.
Big Brother has to have an excuse for watching us all the time. And what they call national security is always the perfect excuse. The moment you make a world at peace, it's gone. The keystone in the arch of ruling class power is gone if we don't have an enemy. So the rich are always going to provide us with an enemy forever. And the lesson we need to learn from all of this is that everything in our lives is and always has been a rich man's trick. When people think of ancient Rome, they always tend to think about the gladiators in the Roman arena. But something people don't realize is that Roman amphitheaters were a scam. They were perhaps the very first big confidence trick in human history, played by more cunning rich men upon a naive public. What Caesar did was to say to the Roman Vulgate, I will give you gladiatorial games, but only if I can have your votes. And he only offered this bargain because he knew the Vulgate loved the games more than they loved anything. This is how the Roman maxim, panem et circenses, bread on surfaces, became established. Because Caesar was the first politician to understand that if you give people what they want, they will tolerate being ruled. By this means, Julius Caesar made himself the first dictator whose fortune was protected by a professional army. And everything that every ruler has given us since Caesar has simply been another rich man's trick. Religion is a rich man's trick. It was invented because wealthy rulers realized the population was getting too big for soldiers to watch over constantly. So they replaced the idea of having many gods with one single god. A simple idea simple men could understand, who could see what everyone was doing all the time. The idea of one God became the surveillance video of the ancient world. In the Middle Ages, the same sort of people grew rich by charging people for the forgiving of sins. And when a new age dawned with the coming of Industrial Revolution, they invented new tricks to control the population explosion, like censorship. Every grown-up knows that there is one law for the rich and one law for the rest, because the justice system is a rich man's trick. Mafia godfathers like Sam Giancana walked free from American criminal courts over and over again by taking the Fifth Amendment, because it is a criminal's law. And it's the same with everything else. The media is a rich man's trick. The tax system, because the rich never pay any tax, is a rich man's trick. Political correctness is a rich man's trick. The murder plot to kill Lady Diana Spencer was a rich man's trick. And the war on terror, 9/11, the London tube bombings, the Woolwich terror attack, the Kennedy assassination, all of it is simply another rich man's trick controlling how we think.
Holy shit.
Now, once again, it is very easy at this point to imagine the reaction of conservative politicians, who will, of course, try to laugh this off and scoff. Everything is a rich man's trick? Are we seriously suggesting that the Cold War was a rich man's trick?
Now, in your research and analysis and your efforts to bring out the facts about what was going on in our society, did you encounter any effort to discourage you, to prevent you from bringing out the background of America's involvement in the financing of international communism?
Yes, very definitely. For example, when I was at the Local Institution, in 1972, I went to Miami Beach to give some testimony before the Republican National Committee. And although a congressman had hand-delivered to the wire services this testimony, which was later printed, the wire services refused to transmit it to the newspapers. And when I got back to the Hoover Institution in California, I was called into the office of the director, and I was told in several times not to make any more speeches like that, and that this information should not be made public.
This was the information that we were giving the Soviet Union the technology to develop its war potential.
Yes, at that time we were in Vietnam, and as you know, the Soviets were supplying the North Vietnamese.
This was 1972.
1972, yes. And for example, I knew that the Gorky plant, which was built by Ford Motor Company, but the Gorky plant in Russia produces the gas series of vehicles. The gas vehicles had been seen on Ho Chi Minh's trailer. We were supplying equipment to the Gorky plant in the middle of the Vietnamese War, and these trucks were being used to carry ammunition supplies, which were killing Americans. I thought this was morally wrong. And I said so at Miami Beach and at the Institution, and it was this type of information that was suppressed.
But Rich would much rather read and think at all, and certainly not about the wise words of the columnist Claire Rayner, who once famously said that the only reason we now have to live under kings and queens and presidents is that in past ages their ancestors were the best thieves.
What?
In the Middle Ages, when the king was feeling greedy and wanted to pay for a new mistress or brand new palace, he simply sent out his robber barons to steal half the herd of every local farmer. And if they complained, the robber barons would say the king needed to feed the army, or some similar excuse. That is how it was done then. But today, the ruling class face a different problem. We now live in an industrial age, and as George Orwell explains in his novel 1984, if the machine age was directed solely with the intention of making the common people physically comfortable, in a mega-productive, computer-controlled epoch, we could soon all live like millionaires. But think what this would mean. If we're all millionaires, we all fly first class. So the king and the queen and the president have to wait in a queue with everyone else. And do you honestly believe the Queen of England would wait in a queue behind you? If we're all millionaires, we all play golf. The king and the president can't get on the course.
Oh, wow.
And there's no room on their exclusive beach. Orwell himself would have said the most important single sentence in 1984 was this one: if it once became general, wealth would confer no distinction. Our lords and masters are not going to wait in queues with the rest of us. So the special problem which fat cats face today is how to keep the wheels of industry turning, because as Orwell explains, the oligarchs have to make use of the masses without significantly raising the general standard of living. This is a more sophisticated age, so the robber barons need a more sophisticated means of stealing most of the wealth and of keeping most of the common people in poverty. What the rich face today is a situation in which the common people spend most of their lives on a 9-to-5 treadmill. They make things in factories, they grow things, harvest them, they teach in the schools, nurse in the hospitals. And as a result of their daily labours, a huge amount of money is produced. Now the rulers have a problem. How can they keep the ordinary people hard at work so they're too exhausted at the end of every day to think about whether this is a fair system? The solution, as Sam Giancana explained, is to invent a foreign enemy, a boogeyman, who wants to conquer the whole world.
Yeah.
This becomes a perfect excuse to make people pay for a sophisticated array of increasingly expensive weapons, which are made by companies which the fat cats themselves own. And in one neat little scam, the modern robber baron has a means of stealing most of the wealth produced by Western society while leaving the common people with just enough crumbs to keep them going. Every year, America's oligarchs take $3 trillion out of the United States economy.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
2.3 trillion with a T. That's $8,000 for every man, woman, and child in America.
This is how the rich have rigged the system, so that it benefits them at the expense of everyone else all the time. But in order to keep this fraud going, the public must always be convinced of the need for military expenditure. This is where all the phony terrorism comes in. And if we want to find out who is behind this ongoing hoax, we only have to look at Securicom, the company in charge of World Trade Center security, who removed all guards and sniffer dogs from the buildings on September 10th, so that the charges which brought down the towers in controlled explosions could be planted. If we now ask, who is the chief of Securicom, who do we find? Marvin P. Bush, brother of George W. Bush, son of the man who orchestrated the plot to assassinate President Kennedy, and grandson of the man who made the family fortune from Auschwitz slave labor. The Bush family and their rich friends have been behind all of it.
Wow.
During his time as president, George W. Bush connived with Tony Blair to introduce a deliberate policy of allowing unbalanced and aggressive Muslims to flood into Western countries. They did this in the hope that they would commit atrocities in their adopted countries. And they were actually delighted when the Washington, D.C. sniper and the Fort Hood shootings made headlines, because they knew such events would make it easier for the public to swallow the idea that 9/11 was simply more typical Islamic terrorism. The truth is that Islam is simply being used like a pawn on a chessboard in a game the fat cats have been playing since World War I. 70 years ago, they gave us what they called the Hitler Project. 50 years ago, it was the JFK assassination project. Today, we're having to suffer the War on Terror project. And when this current lunacy is over, they'll have another excuse ready to create yet another phony war and yet another patsy. If George Orwell was still alive today, and he was asked to comment upon all the significant political events of the last decade, it's quite likely he would simply restate the Orwellian definition of totalitarianism, to wit, a society living by and for continuous warfare, in which the ruling caste have ceased to have any real function, but succeed in clinging to power through force and fraud, and then ask whether this sounds like the world we live in. Because it ought to be obvious by now that our seemingly endless economic recessions are being deliberately orchestrated. In today's world, the commodities markets are arranged in such a way that the price of virtually everything, particularly food, hardly ever changes. So how then can it be that the price of oil increased tenfold in the last decade? Economists are now tacitly agreeing that this was due to financialization, which is just a fancy way of saying rich groups like the Bush family and their merchant banking friends used their trillionaire fortunes to rig the market. Why did they do this? Because great entrepreneurs like Stelios, with their budget air travel, had managed to break the cartel of the major airlines. Ordinary working families had begun living a jet-set lifestyle. The ruling elite of the entire world was simply terrified, because a jet-set lifestyle is supposed to be the exclusive preserve of the rich. What would happen to their social status if the whole world were part of the jet-set? So the rich arranged for the credit crunch, and now working families who used to fly 10 times a year can't even afford to use their car.
Damn.
What George Orwell understood better than anyone is that every age is basically the same. It is always a story in which a small elite group of greedy people cling to unjust power and privileges by practicing an ongoing deception upon their followers. Caesar did it with bread and circuses in the Roman arena. George Bush did it with false flag terrorism on 9/11.
Yeah.
British newspapers have told their readers that the Queen of England is only the 10th richest person in the UK with a fortune of $3 billion. But experts who have calculated her real wealth reckon that her ownership of 1/6 of all of the land on planet Earth puts her true fortune nearer to 22 trillion. They also estimate the true wealth of the Queen's merchant bankers, the Rothschilds, the people who started all of this greed by lending money to the Harrimans and the Morgans to be at least 100 trillion.
Good lord.
So finally, we have to ask,
Good
what
lord.
is to be done about all this?
$100 trillion.
In the case of America, it is obvious that in order to honor the memory of President Kennedy, Americans are now duty bound to finish his work by finally ending the worldwide tyranny of the CIA.
Yeah.
The time has come for ordinary Americans to ask their strong men in uniform just exactly what and who they think they are defending. And they better not take too long about it. Having established Islam in the West in order to provide us with an enemy, the elite have recently started on the second phase of their master plan, which is to wipe out anyone who is sick or disabled. In Britain, this has been manifest in the Atos scandal, which has stopped all welfare payments to people with terminal illnesses and allowed invalids who in some cases have no limbs to starve to death. The extermination of anyone considered feeble-minded or infirm was exactly how the Nazi regime began,
Oh,
and now they've started doing it again.
this is terrible.
What most amazes me
This is
in
terrible.
all of this is the naivety of the good people in the truth movement, who go on and on and on saying they want an independent inquiry. The Bush family and their rich friends are not going to investigate themselves.
No, I
And
know.
there isn't any authority on earth above that of the ruling class, so it's never going to happen. These people have got the police and the judges and the justice
Yeah, 5
system
minutes left.
completely under their control. The Queen of
Yeah, we
England
can kitty down.
cannot be
Yeah, we gotta get
prosecuted
to work.
for
We
anything,
gotta
not even
troubleshoot this
genocide, in a crown court, because the crown courts are hers. She owns British justice. The only way
Or I
to
might take a
change
break.
our
I think I'm
corrupt
gonna
system
stop recording
is
for a
through
bit.
revolution.
Yeah, like I gotta stop recording for a bit. I've just been sitting here. I'm sorry about that. But, it's pretty simple. Everything is set up here now, so I will be able to jump back on. Yeah, because I think I'm gonna get a little food, eat, probably smoke a little more. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate that. I'm sorry I kind of got a little boring here at the end here. I sort of kind of got into the whole little JFK rabbit hole, and my cat fell asleep on me, and so I'm just gonna try my cat here. My cat here. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh, and be sure to check out my homie Joe. I'm not gonna put out his full things as his name, but he's on the chats. The chat will be on the replay. You gotta like and subscribe to his channel and his content. I usually check out my boy Wrecking Boss channel and his content. You're gonna just have to look through more of my videos to find him. Or not. If you're an adult, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna end this now, but I will get it up and running again, probably in a couple hours, or tomorrow for sure, if not in a couple hours, because I do still need to fix the the controllers. I'm just trying to fix them. That's it, y'all. You take care. As always, I love you. Please remember to love your neighbor. You have a good night.